Let's do this.
Here we go.
Mamma mia. So,
Oh no.
Will and I are here, two grown men in our 30s. We just came out of Super Mario Brothers movie.
Are you still in your 30s?
Barely.
Okay.
A few more months, and then I will hit the big 4-0. Yeah. No more excuses for immaturity after that. You know what I mean? Like
never perish the thought.
You hit 40, and I said, man. So we are outside the Grand here in good old Winston-Salem, and during the day, like this is like the first one of these we recorded during the day. Because Will was off work, I'm not working, so we're able to come during the day. Obviously, pay less money, which is great. But hey, so we're going to give you our first impressions of the film. Let's say for the first 10 minutes or so, it'll be spoiler-free. We will spoil a little bit at the end because this episode is just for subscribers. Nobody else is going to get to see it, not even YouTube audience. So this will be a video episode exclusively, which I don't know why we're telling you, because if you're watching, you are a subscriber. But
unless I subscribe,
actually,
I can't see it.
Actually, I'll give a little clip. I'm going to put this clip up on Instagram to promote this. So, hey, everybody out there. Episodes like this, like our instant reviews that we record out in the parking lot of the theater right after seeing a film, these will be going up onto our podcasting platform for subscribers only. So for the low cost of $2.99 a month, you can get 2 bonus episodes a month. One of them will be our instant reviews for the movie of the month. Another will be a surprise each time. We won't tell you until it happens. Something like that. Anyway, you'll get 2 bonus episodes, and you'll also get an invitation to a Zoom chat with one and or both of us, and we'll just have a hangout time. And
that's right.
We will start building the Society of Nerds.
The Society of Nerds.
The Irreverent Nerd Society.
Should we get like a...
We should TM that.
Yep.
The Irreverent Nerd Society. The Society of Irreverent Nerds. A Society of Irreverence. There's a lot of options. Let us know what you think, actually. But anyway, we want to start building that community of subscribers and people that are just want to be a part of the Irreverent Nerd community, if you will. Join us in our middle-aged, nostalgic nerddom. So that's a plug for a new subscription service. So in the description of every episode, there'll be a link to that if you want to subscribe. You can also go to our Spotify for Podcasters profile and see it there. So that's all the advertising I'm going to do. Now we're going to jump right into the review. So Will, I'm going to go to you and let me know your initial thoughts first.
Let's go! Well, despite what critics will have you believe, this film was a pure nostalgia bomb. It was wonderful. It was great. I can't really get into a lot of that without giving out spoilers, but if you love Mario, you will love this film. It is a children's film, but that won't stop them throwing in all sorts of wonderful nostalgia bombs for your childhood.
Oh, that's right, man. Like this, I kept thinking like several times, I was like, this is the Mario Brothers movie we wanted to see as kids. Like,
yeah.
This is the one they should have given us as kids.
Well, that's okay. We got the Super Mario Super Show, and that was good.
That's true. They animated... I remember watching some of that. I have a feeling you watched a lot more than I did.
The live-action segments might have been camp, but they were still more accurate than the 93 film.
Which, by the way, go check out our review of that we did this past week. We had fun with it. You go into it knowing, okay, I'm not expecting this to be an epic Oscar-worthy film, but we enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yoshi's performance was Emmy-worthy.
That's right, actually. Yoshi, whoever the animator, I don't know, animator's not the right word, operator, puppeteer, the puppeteer, or puppeteers, plural, for Yoshi, they did a great job. I think someone joked in a review I saw that he had more, they said, he had more emotional depth than any of the other characters. That's no offense meant to the wonderful Bob Hoskins or John Leguizamo, but it wasn't really your fault, guys. Not really.
I heard that Leguizamo won't see the new film for some reason, but that's okay.
Really?
No one's making it.
Interesting.
He's a purist, a 93 purist.
I guess. I don't know. So yeah, my first impressions too. This was great. So Nerd Hats, my initial rating, I'm going to say 4.25 Nerd Hats for this
Yeah,
right out of the gate. I might, and I don't think this is one that'll ever go down. Like I really enjoyed it. How about you?
Me too. I don't know about points, but at least a 4 out of 5. Yeah, it was good.
So average that out. That's 4.125 Nerd Hats between the two of us for this film. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I thought the plot was tight, and it's an animated film, so they're shorter. So like,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to cram as much into there. I thought they had just enough. It moved well. You didn't feel like any of it was dragging. I also didn't feel like it was. There was one section. Let's see. Maybe I'll save that for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a spoiler, but we'll get a little deeper here in just a few minutes. But yeah, the plot moved well. The music was great. Brian Tyler,
Oh, yeah.
he does an excellent job. He's been doing music for TV shows and movies for a while now. He did a great job integrating the video game music into the score,
definitely.
I thought.
And I don't want to give out even spoilers on music. I thought there were some odd yet nostalgic choices for music, but the video game music was spot on. It was very nostalgic. I loved it.
Yeah, they did throw a few pop songs in there, and not all of them worked. But none of them were. It didn't necessarily like take you out of it entirely. But yeah,
No, not
I was a
entirely.
little like, why is there a pop song in here right now?
That's very 80s. I like the 80s. Mario came from the 80s. Why is this in this film?
That's true. Maybe that was the point.
Yeah.
Now I will say, obviously, not to knock the '93 film too much, but maybe. Obviously, it didn't have anywhere near as much of material to draw from as this film did.
That's very true.
you
There
know.
was no N64 yet. You couldn't put the Bomb King in.
Yeah, and so even just the world building, with the different characters and different levels and all of that, like, even down to like Mario Kart levels that weren't in existence at that point, because Mario Kart existed back then, but
Yeah.
but not to the extent like now. Like if you play it on the
Right.
Switch, like it's the movie, like, and this is not a spoiler, but it kind of just drops you into one of the I don't know if sets is the right word. What's the right word?
I don't know.
You
I was
choose
zoning
different
out.
arenas for the Mario Kart races.
Right.
Track, I guess.
Well, I think
Tracks?
the track, it was in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. Rainbow Road
Yeah.
was from the Super Nintendo.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it was in
Yeah.
there.
But
Nice.
but there were a lot of elements to the kart racing in this movie that didn't exist until GameCube or thereafter. So
Yeah, I mean, you got an extra 30 years to draw from, which I don't know how many
Or maybe
games
the
that would
Wii.
be. Probably
I think the Wii.
at least 10 games maybe since then, maybe
Yeah.
more, a dozen games or so, since the '93 film came out. So obviously there's a lot more to draw from. But
that's why they had those weird cop cars. It was totally Mario Kart in '93. No.
well, I think I said this right after the film, was like, they should have gone full animation even back in
Yeah.
'93. Because certainly the capability was there to do hand-drawn, and even to a certain degree CGI back then. Because obviously they had some CGI in the film, but like, they should have done this back then. They should have gone full animated, like Disney quality
I
animation
know.
back then.
Nintendo, you could have hired Disney. Whole new world.
I don't know. Maybe Nintendo. Maybe Nintendo didn't have enough clout back then to hire Disney. Although Disney was still recovering at that point from a really rough, like, late '70s, early to mid '80s turn for the company, so they might have been open to that. You missed your opportunity, Nintendo.
Disney apparently owns the '93 film now, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's on. Wait, do they?
Well, I
Yeah,
thought
because
discussed- I don't know.
it got distributed / released through Hollywood Pictures, which was like connected to Buena Vista, which is owned by Disney. However,
Yeah.
so many different production companies going to be involved in one film in Hollywood. I feel like, but yeah, I think on some level it's owned by Disney. I mean, Disney owns everything anyway, right?
Yep. Before too long, Mario's going to be part of the Marvel DC universe. It's me, Super Mario. We are the same. We are not the same. We are the same. I threw in some hishy there.
But this was a joint venture from obviously Illumination, which I think is a French company. It's either French or Italian. I want to say French, but and
Blasphemy. It must be Italian.
one of the two, and Universal Pictures, obviously, and I don't know who else might have. I'm sure there were other companies involved, but let's see. So we have hit the 10-minute mark in our. So now, spoiler warning for this special bonus video episode. So we're gonna be dropping spoilers the next 10 minutes. This is not gonna be a long review, but the next 10 minutes or so. So filters are off. So let's see.
Good, because
Was there anything that surprised you? Obviously, the Bob-omb.
the quality
King.
surprised me.
Oh yeah, the CGI.
Yeah. Well, just the quality of the film in general, really. Well, I'll tell you the truth. Some critics were saying, and I was going to this film kind of like, let's find out if they're right or not. But some critics were saying, well, this was not a Mario movie. This was an Illumination movie. It was basically a glorified Minion movie with Mario characters. I want to tell you right now, that is a lie.
It's not true.
It's not true.
This had Mario all over it, man.
Yes.
If you played the games, it was so interwoven to the plot, and it seamlessly, in my opinion, it was just really well done.
Really well done.
They integrated the elements from the game in a way that even made sense in the plot. It felt like you were in a story in the game world, which was cool.
Yeah.
I liked that.
And we picked all sorts they picked, you know what I mean. They picked all sorts of nostalgia from your childhood, nostalgia from your kid's childhood. This was the entirety of Mario canon. This was not just the 80s canon or the 2000s canon. This was everything.
Yeah, and sorry, finish your thought.
Yeah, they didn't cherry pick. They chose it all. Well, they did cherry pick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they picked elements from the 80s all the way up to,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, more recent. I've not played some of the more recent Mario games, but I'm assuming you have.
And,
you have a Switch, right?
Yeah. I played Mario Odyssey. I will say that I don't think there was one Mario Odyssey reference in here, because in the beginning of the film we see Pauline, who was the person that Mario rescues from Donkey Kong in the original Donkey Kong game. But in Odyssey, she's the mayor of New Donk City, or New York City in this film.
Nice. I was wondering who that was. I couldn't.
Yeah.
You said he leaned over to me. He's like, "It's Pauline." I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know who that is." But no, now you say that, that makes sense. I didn't know she probably didn't have it. Did she have a name back in the 80s when they made the original?
I think the instruction manuals were
Called
on the
her
side of
Pauline.
the cabinet called her Pauline, I think.
Nice.
That was back when Mario was Jumpman, which actually the Donkey Kong game actually did get a reference in this film.
Yeah, I mean the whole fight scene, right, between Donkey Kong and Mario took place in kind of a workup of the original, right?
That too, but
Played with the barrels and everything.
In the pizza restaurant, there's an arcade cabinet that says Jumpman on it.
Ah.
And Charles Martinet, who voices Mario and Luigi and Wario and etc. in the video games, is there as an old man wearing a red hat. He's looking very Jumpman-ish and goes, "Woohoo!" or something.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yeah.
Where he jumps up, he's like, "Woohoo!"
Yeah, so he makes
Nice.
an
I
appearance.
figured that was a very explicit reference.
Yeah, in the beginning and in the end of the film.
Not explicit as in dirty, just very specific reference.
That's right, parents. Go over your kids' heads. You'll
No,
enjoy it. I'm
there
kidding.
were no adult jokes in this that I saw. There were no
No.
dirty jokes or anything. It was
No.
totally kid friendly. I mean, intense. I wouldn't recommend it for young kids, like little kids. Like my maybe my 7-year-old might be okay with it, but it's intense. I will say that.
Your baby would love it. I'm kidding.
So yeah, not necessarily for 5 and under. Although some of it may depend on what your kid is like and what scares them in films and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely, the intensity level is up here throughout probably 80% of the film.
Yeah.
But that works. It's
Yep.
basically an action movie.
Bowser is very
essentially.
cartoon scary,
Yeah.
but wonderful.
But yeah, so I wouldn't recommend it for little kids in most cases. But in general, just a very family friendly film. Adult, parents and kids can enjoy it together. Unless you're one of those parents who didn't play Mario growing up, but you might still enjoy it anyway because it's a good film even in its own right. So let's see. So there is. Well, let's not get to that yet. We got a few minutes yet. At the very end, we can close with the cutscene at the end.
Right.
Because that's
right.
a surprise. Although he called it, like, he called what it was going to be. And
Well,
he was
by
right.
accident.
No, not by accident. You're a smart man, William.
Okay, what
No,
do we
it
talk
was-
about
it was a
next?
good guess.
More nostalgia references, the plot, the music.
Let's talk a bit about the plot. Because, like, I made a reference at the beginning. Like, I thought, and this is where I don't really understand the critical reception to it. It's like, the plot was actually really tight.
Yeah.
You know, it was a 90-minute film, obviously, so you have to be tight if you're going to execute it well. But it was good. It was well paced, and there was only, this is where I was going to share earlier, there was only one part that I felt was a bit rushed, and that was the princess was a little too quick to be like, hey, Mario, you can come with me. I mean, she does put him through a test, but like she goes off with just him after just meeting him with
True.
well, maybe she doesn't need any protection though, because she's pretty badass in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, she is definitely not the princess in need of saving in this film,
no.
but I kind of like that.
Yeah, me too, man.
mean-
Like girl power, right? I mean, and she's pretty badass in the games too. I mean, I like.
Oh yeah, she got her own
I like playing
title
Peach.
one time.
Yeah, did she?
Yeah, where she was the main character.
I didn't know that.
And in the RPG games, a lot of the time she's one of the main party members. So she casts healing spells and whatnot.
Well, I know it. I was playing Super Mario Brothers 2 a few weeks back, and I definitely like playing her in that game.
Oh yeah.
Which I know was not originally Mario, but
Oh, but it influenced the canon so much going
Yeah.
forward.
but yeah, but she's great in that because I mean, and even in Smash Brothers, like she's pretty fun to play in Smash Brothers. Like her ability to float, you can save yourself more often with that. It's pretty cool.
So, do you think that Illumination is going to build up to the Smash Brothers crossover? No kidding.
I don't know, but they do hint at a sequel.
Yeah.
So, which, from what I've heard, the opening weekend, my guess is this will make more than enough money for the studio to justify making another one. I think
I look forward to that.
as of Saturday, like as of a couple days ago, it had already made like, I don't know, 140 million or something like that. Which it
Nice.
had a little bit of an extended weekend. It started on Wednesday instead of releasing Thursday night, which a lot of films have their first showing Thursday nights. They released on Wednesday, so it got an extra day in there. But still a very solid opening weekend, which bodes well for any sequels or whatnot. But yeah, conspicuously, I guess we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the ending. Like, conspicuously absent from the film is the character we get introduced to at the end.
Yoshi!
Which you called, like, while we were watching the credits, we were speculating on what it would be, and Will was like, yeah, they didn't have Yoshi in the film, except in the background briefly. It's like, I bet he'll be,
In the sequel.
yeah.
That's what I was guessing. That maybe they were saving Yoshi for the sequel.
Maybe it'll take place, does he have his own, like, universe that he's from or something?
No, he's from Yoshi's Island, which may or may not be a part of. I was always confused whether Yoshi was a part of Bowser's Kingdom or not, but apparently in this film universe he's not, because they apparently cross over Yoshi's Island on their way to Kong Island.
Oh, so that's where you briefly saw.
Yeah, we briefly
I didn't even
saw a
catch it.
tribe of Yoshis in the background, rainbow Yoshis.
Nice.
I think the red one stopped and looked at the camera for a second.
See, I didn't realize, and this is where I've not played Mario much since the Nintendo 64, I have to be honest, other than some Smash Brothers. So I'm definitely behind as the games go, but I didn't realize there was a whole race of Yoshis.
Oh,
Is that a more
yeah,
recent
yeah.
development, or?
No, that's been since the very first appearance of Yoshi in Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. You would get different colored Yoshis at random from the eggs. I don't think they had different powers. I think they just happened to be different colors. And then on the N64 we had Yoshi Story, which let me back up. We had Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, and then we had Yoshi Story on the N64. So it's a thing. Rainbow Yoshi is a thing.
Nice. Well, we're going to end with Rainbow Yoshis. We're at our 20-minute mark, which is what we wanted to keep this to. So, new subscribers, hey, thanks for tuning in and thanks for supporting us. And yeah, stay tuned for more. We'll have another bonus episode at some point this week. And our bonus episodes, like we have our normal rhythm now where we're doing like our 4-week pattern. You know, we've got sci-fi, comic books, anime, and then movie of the month. You know, that's our pattern for the 4-week cycle. But these subscription-only videos, I mean, we could go anywhere in nerddom with these things, man. So we're gonna have fun with it. Like all the episodes that were like, we should do that, but it doesn't fit in the normal patterns. Like some of these will find their way into the subscription-only episodes. So I'm excited about the potential for that. So hey, thanks for watching. Because yeah, this is a video episode on Spotify. So sorry, those of you who are not watching on Spotify or listening somewhere else. Go to Spotify. But either way, whether you're listening or watching, thank you for tuning in.
And the Mario movie is excellent. It's got tons that we can't talk about because of our time limit. So go see that film.
Oh yeah, and stay tuned. The 26th, we are going to be releasing our deep dive for the film. So we'll probably get into a lot more specifics about the video games that it ties to. And we might even do a rewatch on this one because that was fun.
It was
just
fun.
It was very fun.
I would love to do a rewatch.
Yeah. So, all right, nerds. Peace.